Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm Sasheen Collicutt, founder of addicted2fear.org. I'm working on these videos so that we can create awareness as far as what children need to be learning about their physical boundaries. And my last video was an introduction, I guess, to children between the ages of 3 to 8 who need to understand and have a little bit more of the harder conversations that parents can have with their kids and through story and education about physical boundaries. And that video was called My Body Belongs to Me by Jill Starshevsky. I think that was the name. It's a big long name, but you can see that in my previous video. Today we're going to be talking to more of the older kids, and obviously sexual abuse, physical boundaries become violated at a very young age, and there's lures and there's enticements that these predators use. So while we're going to go over the course of the next few weeks over the different 15 types of lures that they use, I will be also, as maybe you can see it from here the last time, I can summarize what they are really quick as far as the lures that are used, and we'll go into more detail in the coming weeks. So the first lure is the affection lure. The second one is the assistance lure. Number 3 is the authority lure. Number 4 is the bribery lure. Number 5 is the ego fame lure. Number 6 is the emergency lure. Number 7 is the fun and games lure. Number 8 is the hero lure. Number 9, the job lure. Number 10 is the name recognition lure. Oftentimes you can see that being targeted on a child if they're wearing their name on any of their clothing material or the backpack. Number 11 is the playmate companion lure. Number 12 is the pornography lure. 13, threats and weapons. 14, the drug lure. And 15, which should go viral, there are so many computer online lures. So those are the 15 headlines of what we are going to be discussing in the coming weeks. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking, I will get into the first lure, which is the affection lure, but before we do that, I'm going to discuss predator profiling. Okay, so this book by Kenneth Wooden was copyright in 1995, and this is the type of book, along with the other one for younger kids, My Body Belongs to Me. These two books would have been extremely beneficial to me as a parent with my son. And there are hard conversations, and especially as the opposite sex parent, it's sometimes harder to have those conversations, and it's even more hard if you are a single parent and trying to have these discussions. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but we need to prepare our children. So here, let's get into it. What every parent and child should know. This is written for children, and it is written for parents and parents to use with children. Just use these books and these sessions and these series as tools, educational tools to arm our children, to arm everybody's children with information and knowledge of what to do should these situations arise. So, in 1986, U.S. Customs sting Operation Borderline, studied the findings about predators and the tactics they used. They come from all walks of life and occupations, can include bus drivers, dentists, attorneys. These people can be single, married, young or old, male or female. That's another stigma we have to address, is that it doesn't matter, men or women. They come from, it's pedophilia is a sickness. It doesn't discriminate against race, class, or age. Pedophiles are unable to resist the powerful urge to initiate sexual contact with children. Pedophiles prefer children on the brink of puberty, and they prey on their sexual innocence, ignorance, and curiosity. There are small groups of militant and highly organized molesters operating worldwide throughout pedophile organizations. These groups, which I will add in links once I have uploaded this video, these groups, their goals include decriminalizing child molestation and lowering age of consent. We are seeing this in Canada. Mature minors is another grooming tactic that the legal system is trying to weaponize. Customs officials indicate that communication via computer is quickly replacing the printed pedophile newsletter. Media. Incest. Half of all sexual abuse is incestuous in nature. By teaching children that boundaries exist and that no adult may cross, it becomes unnecessary to dwell on incest, which is a touchy subject in the best of families. There have been times where fathers have been like, okay, I don't want my daughter sitting on my lap at that age, and everybody has to try and figure out their own physical boundaries, things that we haven't really been taught as children, not very well. Don't scare your children beyond the realities of life, because for every crime reported, there are hundreds of good deeds literally going unreported. So that is always a good thing. Regarding strangers, warning kids don't talk to strangers rarely protects them from sexual assault and abduction. Most children suffer abuse at the hands of someone they know, not a complete stranger. Abduction, more often children are abducted by someone they know, they're detained, they're abused, and then they're released. The statistics fail to show scores of youngsters whose abductions are not necessarily by strangers and do not include death. Myself, I was abducted by my own mother. The fear factor is another tactic. Many parents shy away from teaching their children about molestation and abduction, fearing it'll frighten the children unnecessarily. But children nearly always feel safer after learning prevention strategies, which it turns kids into confident, critical thinkers, prepared for dangerous situations should they arise. We are just giving them the tools. I can, as a therapist who worked in addictions and recovery for a long time, in the very beginning, I was educating my son about my work and the long-term side effects and any side effects of these potential street drugs back then, the illicit drugs. And because of all of that, when my son was 14 years old, he was offered cocaine at a youth group night in Kelowna, BC. And he was so proud to come home and tell me, and that he said no. So children do listen. You have to repeat it. You can't just say it once. You have to go over it a few times. They work best with repetition. But once they know, they have tools that can save their life. Your child needs to hear this information more than once. I know I just said that, but I will repeat it. Children learn best through repetition. Teach children that people are kind of like the weather. They can change without warning. While most people are nice and safe, some people do bad things. Sometimes nice people also make bad decisions. Ask things to yourself, even regarding the weather, when the weather changes. Would I play outside in a tornado? That probably wouldn't be a very good idea. Should we go driving in a blizzard? You know, these are the types of things we have to think about when things change. Just like that, we have to be aware people can change. So lures are something that if you think about fishing, you need a fishing rod, you need a hook, and you need a lure on the end. And just like we put bait on a hook to go catch a fish in the water, some people try and catch kids with lures, not fishing lures necessarily, but they're different type of lures. They might promise a gift. They might ask for your help. They might tell you there's an emergency. They may even threaten you. Those are the types of lures we are going to be discussing. Learning about lures is just like having a fire drill at school. You need to know what to do just in case. And instincts, let's talk about instincts. Instincts, they're the feelings inside you that tell you things. It might tell you something is wrong or dangerous. What does a siren tell you, for example, if you hear that outside when you hear it? Your instincts are your body's way of telling you to be careful. You might have maybe a sick feeling in your tummy in a certain situation, for example. Listen to your body and listen to those instincts, your feelings. Rules and laws. Do you have rules at home? Are there rules in school? Adults have laws too. And when adults break the law, they usually get punished. One law says that adults are not to touch children's private parts. Those are the parts of you that are covered by a bathing suit. They are yours and nobody else's. Your body is your private property, just like my body is my private property. An adult who wrongly touches your private parts is called a molester. That person can be anyone at all. It is so important to tell your parents or another trusted adult immediately. Reporting abuse might protect other kids, maybe even your friends, from molestation. You do not need to feel embarrassed for reporting and discussing it with a caring adult. It will help you feel better, and if that person can't help, tell another trusted grown-up and keep telling until someone helps you and the abuse stops. Parents, please explain to your child that people who molest children are criminals who should be punished. Only by reporting the abuse can the abuse stop. False accusations. Remember, kids, it's against the law to say someone did something wrong when they did not. Don't make up stories about abuse. Always tell the truth. Falsely accusing an innocent person could put them in jail, make them lose their family, or lose their job. Lying is always wrong, and your instincts should remind you about that. Telling the truth helps everyone stay safe. Dignity. The young person that you are deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. Dignity means worth. You're worth it. This does not mean that you are better than others, but it means you are valuable. What are the things that you like about yourself? What are the things that you would like to work on, to improve about yourself? Each of us are different and beautiful in our own ways, and as adults, it is our job to keep children innocent and safe from harm.